If you're angry because your wife won't have sex with you and that anger is pushing her even further away, it can feel like you're trapped in a cycle you can't escape. In this video, I'm going to help you break free. We'll look at why anger pushes your wife away, what to do instead, and a 3-step plan to help you reconnect. Hi, I'm Laura and I'm a counsellor and coach in the UK. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm all about helping you build relationships that feel alive and fulfilling. So if you enjoy real talk about long-term love, then please consider subscribing. Before we begin, if you're a woman watching this to understand your husband's experience or to work through your own feelings about intimacy, thank you. This video is addressed to men, but your perspective matters too, and your willingness to reflect is a powerful thing. A sexless marriage can be devastating, especially for men dealing with months or years of rejection. The pain can spiral into loneliness, low self-esteem, and even physical or mental health struggles. If you're feeling frustrated, resentful, or just perpetually pissed off, I get it. It's a tough place to be and my heart goes out to you. Just because you're being rejected doesn't mean you're unworthy of love or desire. It doesn't mean you're broken, unattractive, or that something's wrong with you. It means something in the relationship or in your wife isn't working right now. But your value as a man isn't defined by your wife's ability to connect sexually with you. But here's the difficult truth: anger won't fix this. In fact, it's likely making things worse, creating an ever-growing chasm between you and your wife. And just to be clear, if that anger has tipped into control, cruelty, or emotional abuse, it's vital to get help for that first. Nothing in this video will work if your wife doesn't feel emotionally or physically safe. I see the anger trap all the time in my practice. A man feels starved for intimacy, he's hurting, feeling rejected, maybe even ashamed. That pain builds until it turns into anger, sometimes loud and obvious, sometimes quiet and simmering. Either way, it creates an atmosphere where sexual connection becomes almost impossible. If that sounds like you, then I'm going to be honest for your sake. Focusing on sex right now is a dead-end road. That's not to say that your needs don't matter. They absolutely do. It's also not to say that your wife doesn't have her own work to do. She does. But real change starts with what you can control, which is you. So hear me out. Most women, as the bearers of children, are wired to choose partners who demonstrate care, protection, and commitment. It's not just a preference, it's rooted in biology and history. And so any sense of threat, anger, criticism, or resentment will shut her down in an instant because it screams to her, this person is not safe. Even I, someone who's fiercely pro-sex, wouldn't want to have sex with my husband if I felt in any way he resented me. And that's not a personal quirk. It reflects a fundamental truth. Most women need to feel safe to open up physically. No amount of frustration or wishing it wasn't so will change this hardwired reality. Who started it or how long it's been going on doesn't change what you need to do to resolve it. So how do you start turning this around? Even if she's emotionally shut down and you're burning with frustration. Here's a 3-step process to help you get unstuck and start moving towards healing. Step 1. Identify the real emotions. Anger is often a secondary emotion rooted in fear or sadness due to frustration, injustice, or unmet needs. So the first step towards letting go of anger is to identify the underlying emotions, acknowledge them, and feel them. Letting go of anger is critical, not because your pain isn't real, but because holding on to it will destroy your life and keep you from solving the real problems that are causing it. It's also worth asking yourself if all this anger is solely about the lack of sex, or could some of it be tied to deeper wounds, past rejections, insecurities, or unresolved issues. This isn't to dismiss your anger or suggest it's unwarranted, but exploring whether it's proportionate can bring clarity and relief, helping you align your emotions with the situation. If you need help, get in touch and I can support you in processing and releasing these emotions. Step 2, communicate with clarity. Once you've processed your anger and identified the underlying emotions, you'll be better equipped to express your feelings clearly and respectfully. For example, I feel disconnected and unhappy without physical intimacy in our marriage. I know my anger hasn't helped and I'm working on that, but I didn't sign up for a sexless marriage and I won't settle for one long term. I'm open to talking about what's going on between us and I'm committed to improving myself, but I think we both deserve better than this. This opens the door to a real conversation, one you've probably been avoiding. It's not about fixing everything overnight, but about starting an honest dialogue. If it feels daunting, book a session with me and I can guide you through it as a couple. There's a link in the description. Step 3, work on developing yourself. Spend some time introspecting and come up with a list of at least 5 things you'd like to improve about yourself. It could be anything: your fitness, hobbies, emotional health, or social life. Set achievable goals like hitting the gym, picking up an old passion, or working with a therapist like me to become more emotionally grounded. Commit to this as a long-term project and make sure you do something every day that moves you towards your goals. Not only does this build your confidence and resilience, it shifts your focus away from resentment and towards personal growth, which is attractive and empowering regardless of what does or doesn't happen in your marriage. It's highly unlikely that these steps are going to result in an immediate U-turn in your wife's sexual interest in you or her willingness to work on her part of the problem, but it will rapidly transform your own mental health and confidence. In the short term, you're still going to be sexually frustrated, and so you'll have to channel that energy into exercise, discipline, and strength, and yes, giving yourself release when you need to without shame. Stick with the process though, because as long as your wife is a generally intelligent, open, and engaged woman, she's going to find it increasingly difficult not to be inspired and drawn to a man who's kicking ass and taking names in almost every area of his life. By letting go of anger and focusing on your own growth, confidence, health, and emotional well-being, you create a calmer, pressure-free space that your wife would be crazy not to want to move into. By the way, you absolutely don't at any point have to pretend that everything's okay. That's not what I'm saying. So keep communicating calmly and consistently that the lack of intimacy is still painful and not something you'll accept forever. Ask real questions with curiosity and respect. Are there unresolved issues between us? Are you struggling with body image or self-worth? Could hormones, health, medications, or trauma be factors? Do you understand why sex is so important to me? Are you aware of how deeply this has been hurting me? Is there something else going on for you that I can support you through? These are all valid questions, which you'll find getting answers to much easier if you approach her respectfully and ask the questions with care and interest. All the while, keep doing the things you know in your heart you should be doing. Run, go to the gym, introspect, learn, grow, build yourself up. At the same time, invest in your marriage. Show your wife attention, give genuine compliments, plan dates, and demonstrate care, even if it feels unreciprocated at first. If this feels difficult because your marriage has been strained, start with small actions, even if they feel awkward or forced. Faking it isn't about being dishonest. It's about practicing the behaviors of a healthy partner until they start to feel more natural and authentic again. None of this will be possible if you're consumed by anger. If you keep going in this positive direction and she doesn't come along, there's no way you'll suffer it for that long, because the self-worth you'll develop will make it impossible to tolerate suffering indefinitely. Or on the flip side, she's going to see you doing these amazing things and it's going to make her feel nervous. If her heart's still beating for the marriage, even if it's faint, she's going to catch that whiff of what you're doing, and rather than get left behind, she's going to want to come along for the ride. Now, if she does, and this is important, welcome her with open arms, because too many men stumble here. They let bitterness take over with thoughts like, oh, now you want me. Well, fuck you, it's too late. That kind of unwillingness to forgive can destroy what could have been a beautiful reconnection. So don't be that guy. This process isn't just about fixing a sexless marriage, although of course I want that for you. It's about reclaiming your life, your health, your confidence, and your sense of purpose. Whether your wife comes along for the ride or not, whether she commits to working on her own issues or not, you'll come out stronger, healthier, and more grounded. You might think that sounds like fluff, but it's not. I've seen it work. When you're integrated, coherent, confident, and moving forward with purpose, people will notice, including your wife. You'll feel better, look better, and radiate a kind of energy that draws people in. If your wife's heart is still in the marriage, and if she's healthy enough, she'll notice and she'll make radical changes herself, inspired by you. And if not, you'll be in a position to make choices from a place of strength and clarity, not desperation. No matter what happens in your marriage, you deserve to feel alive, confident, and whole again. And you can get there, one step at a time, one day at a time. I'm rooting for you. If you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you did, you might also enjoy this one where I discuss how sexless marriages hurt men. Consider subscribing if you enjoy these conversations and leave a comment below to let me know what you think. I'll be back in a couple of weeks because I'm going on holiday. In the meantime, to yourself and to others, tell the truth.